Hey friend, welcome back. Dr. Amber here, and I help leaders and lovers have the conversations that they haven't found the words for yet so that nothing important goes unsaid. I'm a leadership communication advisor, executive coach, and facilitator, and I'm also a couples communication coach. I do so many things, but all of them are centered around helping you have better relationships by becoming a better communicator. And I am so happy to welcome you to an open house. This is a little orientation that I'm giving you to talk to you about what will likely become my signature service, which is called the Unsaid Sessions. The Unsaid Sessions are a group of coaching calls between me, you, and your partner to help you work through whatever communication related challenges you are having in your relationship. Now, I built it with couples in mind, but if you wanted to meet with your mom, a sibling, your Meemaw, whoever, then that's a dedicated space. So this would be a dedicated space for you to have conversations so that you guys can learn how to connect with each other in more thoughtful and intentional ways. So why I made this more of a formal service is because I have been teaching adults how to become more effective communicators truly my whole life, but going all the way back to when I started in college. Communication was my major in undergrad. I have a master's in interpersonal communication, so specifically communication and relationships. And so that means for the last 20 years, I have been immersed in the art and the act of effective communication and teaching people how to do it. I'm a former professor. I taught courses in public speaking and interpersonal communication. And so that experience gave me so much experience with working with people from diverse backgrounds, walks of life, ages, races, ethnicities, everything, to help them like all achieve the same goal, which is how do I show up in a more effective or impactful way communicatively, whether it's on the stage or at home with my boo. So I'm taking all of those years of experience on a professional and academic side, and also as someone who's been married for 20 years, and putting it all in a formal way that serves you to help you meet your goals as it relates to communication in your relationships. Because something that I've learned, especially in my marriage, is that outside of the church and outside of therapy, there are not a lot of places to go, especially Black couples, to go to work on their shit, to talk through their issues. And I'm not, let me be clear. So the purpose of this video is for me to introduce this to you if you're not already familiar with it, introduce myself to you if you're not already familiar to me with me, and make sure to subscribe if you like what you hear, honey. Okay. But to also offer or answer some frequently asked questions about the Unsaid Sessions and what they are, to help you understand if this could be something that is a fit for you. So you'll see that I'll have my notes here off to the side. If you see me looking to the side, it's because I'm trying to stay organized so I can stay on time and not waste your time in watching this video. But back to what I was saying a second ago, I have learned and realized over the years that there just are not a lot of places for couples to go to work exclusively and primarily on their communication skills. So a couple of things that I want to make sure that I explain to you. I'm going to go over the FAQs, and then I'm also going to talk to you about how the offer works. It's not therapy. Let me just get that out the way. I am not a therapist. So if you're like, okay, girl, what is this? Is it therapy? It is not. My doctorate is in organizational change and leadership that I earned from the University of Southern California, an accredited university. Okay. And while I know that your background and your trauma and your challenges in your life impact the way that you show up communicatively, these sessions are not intended to help you dig through those things. We are starting from, well, why are you passive aggressive? Why do you say you're fine when you know you're not, you're really not? Because you know what it's like in your partnership where, y'all going at it, y'all fighting or whatever, and you arguing about the dishes, but you know that it's not really about the dishes, but you don't quite have the words yet to describe what's underneath why you're so mad about the dishes. We are going to talk about that stuff. Now, again, am I fully aware that your background, your life story, and your trauma, if you have that, informs those things? The goal is to help you learn how to develop the skill of becoming a better communicator even with yourself, so that you can connect more effectively with your partner. So I just want to make sure that I make it clear that I'm not parading this around as some type of faux version of therapy. I'm very clear that that is its own work. And in these sessions, I might say to you, that might be something that you want to explore with the therapist. So that way you fully understand kind of like what you're getting into. The Unsaid Sessions could be a great precursor to therapy. Say y'all haven't gone yet, but you've been thinking about it. This can maybe give you a sample of what some of that might feel like. It could be a great supplement to therapy if you are currently involved in therapy at this time. This could be a really great addition to that work that you're already doing, because it could also be a place where you can apply some of the things that you're learning in therapy in a more practical way. Now, I was going to say technical, but it's not. I don't mean that, but just practical. Not to say that therapy isn't practical, but I feel like you get what I'm saying. And I'm really excited about that. And I'm being upfront about that. So again, you're walking into it with an understanding of what to expect. Now, will you cry? Maybe. Will we maybe touch on some hard things? Of course. But again, I do not want to misrepresent what this is about. So, do the both of you need to be on board is a common question that people ask. And the answer is yes. Both of you have to be committed. Now, the way the process works is if you decide that this is something that is a fit for you, then we'll schedule it. Well, we'll schedule a discovery call. And on that call, it's about 30 minutes. I need to meet with at least one of you to talk through what's going on, what you want to work on, and what you want to focus on. And if you determine, or we determine, that this is a good fit for you, then we'll get started and you book your 3 sessions. So this comes with a set of 3 sessions. The other thing, the reason why I structured it that way too, is because sometimes with therapy, you're just there for an indefinite amount of time. And sometimes that's hard to plan for financially if your insurance doesn't cover it and all of that. So this gives you an outlet and a way to kind of work on some things in a really like focused and concentrated way, with an understanding of what the cost is financially or what the expectation is financially, and what your time commitment is up front. The 3 sessions are 75 minutes each. So it's like an hour and 15 minutes, because girl, that hour be going so fast. Okay. So there's 75 minutes. So we can take our time, really work on the thing, and do that for 3 consecutive sessions. And then from there, if you're like, oh wait, Dr. Amber, like we need more help, then of course we can book more. But to start, you start with 3. Okay. So, both of you don't have to attend the discovery call, but you both have to participate in all 3 of the calls. That's the point and that's the goal, so that you can work together with my guidance through whatever challenges might be coming up. Let me also say, you do not need to be in crisis to do this either. I feel like the best time to work on your communication is when things are going well, because you have less things to defend, you're less stressed, you have more patience with each other, and those things matter when you are trying to maybe work your way back towards each other, just, strengthen your bond and your communication or your sense of connection with one another. Sometimes it's best to do that when things aren't so like flared up, and we can really air things out and work on them from a place of peace instead of frustration or anger. Another question that I get often is, okay, but what if, I don't have a man or a woman or a partner, and I want to have this conversation, or I want to work on this with my mom or my sibling, like I mentioned earlier, then you definitely have the opportunity to do that, because I think a pair is a pair, right? And so as long as that other person is on board and they're committed and they're ready to also invest their time in doing this with you, and even their resources, then let's do it, and I think that that's great. Because sometimes, maybe you and your best friend are at a really difficult place because the 2 of you are in different seasons in your life and you're not as connected as you used to be, but you don't quite know how to either get things back the way that they used to, or to decide or define how to move things forward. The Unsaid Sessions could walk you through that from a communication standpoint and lens. I talked about the discovery call. Like I said, it's 30 minutes, virtual, and it's free. So there's no commitment or obligation, but the goal is for you and I to discuss if this is a match for you. And I will also be empowered to say what you might want to work on, based upon our conversation, might be a better fit for therapy. And that gives us an opportunity to talk about that right up front. what happens after the 30 sessions? I mean, the 3 sessions are over. So one, you get a workbook, and I love it so much. It's such a pretty little workbook. It's a PDF, but I made it so that, you can print it out. If you're a tactile person, tactile learner, and you like to write things down, you could have the PDF open and write in your journal, or you can print it out and write physically in the document if you want to. The workbook is designed to support you between sessions so that you can feel supported when I'm not there. And there's exercises that will guide you through how to have certain kinds of conversations. It's intended to help you think about what your conflict styles are, what your respective communication styles are, what your needs are. So a lot of really thoughtful content is in the workbook that I think will help it be a really great resource and tool for you in between the 3 sessions and also afterward. Okay. So once we're done, we'll assess, do we need to keep going? Do y'all feel good? Do you need to take a break, take a breather, apply what you've learned in this first batch of sessions and then come back? We have time to assess that. And I will check in with you over email within 30 days of when your first set of sessions are done, if we decide not to book another set. So that way you can still feel supported. You have a little bit of time to apply what you've learned, and then you can share what that looks like for you within those first 30 days, because it's really easy to sit in front of somebody like me and perform or act like or pretend that you're getting it and you're changing or whatever. But them 30 days after is going to tell the whole story. Okay. So I've set it up to where we can check in virtually, over email, like I said, for you both to let me know how things are going from your perspective. Okay. So, excuse me. Is this faith-based is another frequently asked question. And the answer is no. You do not have to belong to any type of religion or belief system in order to have this experience. We don't have to talk about religion at all unless you want to. Now, if that's something that is important to you, and your faith plays a role in the way that you relate to each other and thereby the way that you communicate with each other, then we could talk about that. I'm totally open to that. But that's not a requirement in order for you to do this. And it's like I said, because outside of therapy and the church, especially like I'm Christian, I'm spiritual with a Christian foundation is kind of like how I like to describe what my belief system looks like now. A lot of that does play a role in how we engage with one another, how we view marriage, how we approach marriage, or partnership. Maybe you're not married, but you've been together for a long time and you're trying to decide if you're going to do that and commit to marriage or whatever the case may be. Even if you're a same-sex couple, you are welcome here, honey. Okay. So I believe that communication is a skill, just like learning a language, and it takes time and it takes practice. And this space is intended for you to learn how to get better at that. And that is independent and irrespective of your of organized religion or your belief system. So I wanted to make sure that I mentioned that. And those are some of the most prominent, frequently asked questions that I have received. All of these are also up and available on the website. So say you're like, okay, this isn't really for me. Like I'm in a good place, but I know who this can be for. All of those questions also get answered on the unsaidsessions.com. So you can head there, hit the link in my bio for more information, more background and context about this journey and this experience. And I'm really excited to work with you because I know what it's like to cry yourself to sleep at night because you just don't feel heard, or you had a marathon argument and you just are so exhausted you don't know what to do next, and all you can do is just cry and go to sleep. But I've also experienced the joy and the sense of freedom that comes along with having really honest conversations. One of the key things that I've learned in the 20 years that I've been married is that it's not my job to decide what my husband can or cannot handle. It's my job to know what my truth is and have the courage to stand in that truth and speak it. And that has been such a valuable lesson for me that I'm able to share with other people and other couples, and that hopefully I'll share with you if we get the opportunity to work together. So if you have some additional questions, let me know. You can put them in the comments. And finally, go to www.theunsaidsessions.com to book your discovery call. And I can't wait to work with you.